Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I am on steroids.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Nick Davenport, aka Mr. Mental Muscle, and welcome back to the Mental Breakdown channel. Now, today we want to talk about the Liver King. It's been buzzing all over the internet, and even for the last year, people have been questioning, is he natural? Now, the cat's out of the bag, and he has himself come out to say he has used steroids. Now, since it's the Mental Breakdown, I always got to say, what sense does this have with psychology? Now, only reason I'm even really covering this, because I'm not here to throw shade or talk bad about the guy, but he did make a mention about mental health, and it's an apology video. So I'm like, okay, you've entered sort of into my realm. So now I can talk about this. So basically, all in all, I won't show the whole apology, but give you the gist of it. He got caught. He came out and open. Some people exposed it, and he couldn't backtrack now. Now, to give you some insight, the Liver King has blown up in the last year, but he's claimed to have made hundreds of $millions over the last decade or so, which is great for him. No problem with that.
Before social media, I was rich and anonymous. And after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous.
But he came into the limelight as an influencer because he lives in something called the ancestral tenets, where kind of living back as like the cavemen did or the ancient ancestors, because we didn't have a lot of resources back then. So we had to live off the land. We had to move around a lot. And I have nothing against that, because all in all, if he's pushing health, that's great. In America, where I live, 70% of the population is either overweight or obese. So pushing the fact of being more active and eating better, even though he has some extreme measures of eating better, saying eat raw liver, testicles, things of that nature, whatever it may be, that's extreme, but it was part of his marketing gimmick, whatever. All in all, he wanted people to be fitter and healthier. So I cannot knock that. But when you get caught up with something like steroid use, you're sending a mixed signal. Now that he's admitted to it, so be it. He's taking blame for what he has done. I have nothing against that. But when you think about the bigger picture, he started talking about how he's doing it for the people who suffer from mental health. He talked about self-deletion, someone losing their life on their own volition, things of that nature. That's a very serious topic.
Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who 80,000 people a day that try to. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life.
And it might be a conflicting view, because when you think about it, pushing a healthy lifestyle through, I'll call it a fad, I'll call it a gimmick. Now, I have nothing against people pushing health, but when it becomes a commodity like that, something like, say, CrossFit, I had something against that years back, and I do have a background in the exercise science field as well as obviously psychology. And the problem I had with CrossFit wasn't that people were getting in shape. It became like a cult-like occurrence, because it was more than just working out. I'm an athlete. I've been an athlete since I was a little kid. I played and I competed at the collegiate level. So I understand what it takes. But when you turn it into something that you have to live by and die by, that's kind of unhealthy to me. Like, I've been in super shape and I've been out of shape. And right now I'm not in the best shape now. I'm 6'1", 235. So I can obviously get in better health. But the point is, I'm not living as if that's my end all be all. There's a me outside of that. And with his ancestral tenets, the premise was to live as our ancestors did, which was more healthy in the sense of there wasn't preserved foods and processed foods, things of that nature. People moved a lot more. People had to toil, hard work just to live and survive. So I get that, but it became more of a cult. So people are following this, and we get to that discrepancy of how he looked, which was the selling point. If you're in the fitness industry, your body is literally your billboard, your brand. And he has a pretty good physique for someone of his age and just in general. But the question was, how do you attain it? Because there's certain stigmas of when someone's big and muscular, they might be using steroids. Now, granted, you can get an amazing fitness shape without using any performance enhancement drugs, but usually when you're at that high of a level and famous, you're going to be questioned. Now, one of the reasons he said he didn't think it was a big deal was because he wasn't an athlete. And I can get that logic, because with an athlete, it's tied more so to an outcome. If you take PEDs and you're performing at a major level to compete against other athletes, that's cheating, because the outcome is dictated by your performance. Now, if you're just doing it to be a bodybuilder and look in the mirror at yourself and be admired, so be it. But at the end of the day, if you're promoting a health message, as he said he was, from the mental as well as the physical, isn't that kind of detrimental to the overall message? But let's go to the more of the mental side, because obviously from the physical side, I won't get too deep in that, but steroid use is not good for your health in the short term or the long term. And granted, I think in the late 40s, maybe early 50s. So hopefully he can recover, but I don't know what it's going to do to his health. But from a psychological level, he's pushing be in shape. Be mentally well. He talked about his cognitive function, his mental health, depression, things of that nature, anxiety. What induces anxiety more to a population when there's an incongruence of what you should look like and what you don't look like? Think about it. He's pushing look like me. Most people would never look like that, even with PEDs, right? But people are trying to obtain it. It sells supplements, right? It sells fitness programs, right? But it's causing this unneeded, necessary thing to strive for, which most people won't meet. We talk about things like body dysmorphic disorder. A lot of people suffer from not seeing their body as what they want it to be, and they keep striving. And then in men, his main audience, they see something they call manorexia, which is just body dysmorphia, but more for the muscular side, where no matter how good of shape they get, no matter how lean they get or how much muscle they build, they're gonna wanna get bigger. And can you see how this message can be sent to people, especially young kids who follow him? Because let's be real, his stuff has viral content, eating testicles, raw, liver, doing crazy workouts, always has his shirt off. This attracts the people more likely to subside to gimmicky stuff. And that's his business. Hey, do your thing. But if your message really is health, especially mental health, can you not see how this causes discrepancy? So that's my only beef with it. Like, I'm not here to judge a man. If you want to use it to get a certain physique, certain shape, I understand. We all do things for our goals. But if your brand is based on health, especially when it comes to mental health, the hardest thing to really overcome, because physical ailments, not necessarily cut and dry, but there's a little more concreteness to how to overcome physical ailments. But when it comes to mental health, a lot of things go into that. And if you sell a dream of become like me, live like our ancestors, and you can see how that's even contradictory because our ancestors did not have those type of performance enhancing drugs. You can say there was maybe plants that could enhance things, sure, but not to the level of actual synthesized product that you put in your body to get bigger, stronger, faster, leaner, whatever it may be. Because people also argue in the defense of he still has to work hard. True, but even if you have to work hard to get the body, regardless of the performance enhancing drugs, you have the ability to go harder. Like a natural person, you're gonna need some time to recover day to day. But if you're on performance enhancers, you can go hard every day, sometimes twice a day consistently, therefore more growth can occur. So all in all, this message really is misguided. I hope he's learned. The apology seems kind of shaky. We talk about gaslighting and stuff. He talked numerous times about being rich. Great way to apologize by telling people how much more you have than them after you lied. And if the goal is to have a healthy brand, maybe he should kind of live by what he preaches. Now, granted, no one's perfect. I get that. But all in all, you got to make it make sense. Because if you're going to try to promote mental health, you can't do something that's going to psychologically misconstrue your audience. Because sadly, we live in a world, we call them influencer for a reason, because they influence. And a lot of people follow these celebrities, these fitness people, and they take it and run with it. This is why I'm big on living in the moderation. Never go full into something, because it's no one size fits all to anything in life. And that definitely goes for fitness. Now, this is just my take on it. Like I said, this wasn't really meant to be something, oh, Liver King's bad, how could he? I didn't even know about the guy until about 4 or 5 months ago when a friend put me on to him. And the first thing I thought was, he probably isn't natural, but that's not my business. Like I said, I've been around it as an athlete. People have used it. I get it. I understand why people use it. Now, I'm not going to knock them, but if your message is to be healthy and do it the right way, don't try to trick. That's all. You didn't have to lie, Craig. You didn't have to lie. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. This was just a quick cover. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Leave some comments below if you have any thoughts on this as well. I'd love to hear your opinions. And thanks as always for letting me break it down and get your mind right.